Hi, welcome to UTADV. On this episode, we're going to talk about this Rome Adventure Company awning tent. It's a 6x6 tent. I'm going to give you a quick review of that right after this. Happy to have you along with me on this episode. We're out near Skull Valley, Utah, and that sounds pretty foreboding, and actually it kind of is. There is an Army depot that did chemical weapons out here about 20 years ago. It's probably not the best place to be or to camp. We're on the edge of Utah's West Desert, and the further west you go, the better the camping opportunities are. That aside, let's talk about the Rome Adventure Company awning tent. With our previous overland vehicle, our Nomad, we camp like this all the time. And the gear that we used for that, the kit that we used for that, was made by ARB. It appears that ARB was probably the first ones to come out with this whole concept as far as the awning and the tent that attaches to that. At the time when we sourced ours out about 7 years ago, we couldn't find anything else like it out there. And then it disappeared, and ARB came out with an all mesh room, which didn't provide much privacy, and it just didn't work out well for us. When I sold the Nomad, I sold the awning and the tent, the whole thing turnkey, to that buyer, and so I had to start from scratch all over again. And since ARB didn't make anything, I was out on the hunt to see who else might be out there. And who should I find but Rome Adventure Company? Now, I ran into them at the Salt Lake Off-Road Expo last summer of 2021, when we all thought COVID was over and we were going to get back to normal. Did I just snort? Anyway, I went to their booth and that's where I bought the 90-liter tough cases that are up on top of there. And I'll talk about those in another episode. And I was introduced to the tent. In fact, I bought both the awning and the tent there on site. They didn't have the tent in stock, so they promised that they would send it to me. 3 months later, I still didn't get the tent, and so I worked with their customer service folks to see what can be done, because we were really wanting to go through and overland this way, but to no avail. It was still out. They had the shipping pipeline issue going on that way. The one that I ordered, the tent that I ordered, was not black. It was the gray that the top is, or that the awning is. They worked out well with me as far as taking care of my needs and getting things that I needed to do. They finally got me the right color, and then once it came, I decided, you know what, I think I like the black. What do you think? I like the scheme of it. It kind of matches everything else as far as color goes on the Rhino. So I think I'm going to stick with that and send the other one back as it goes. But you know what? The tent's good. It's good quality material. It works out the same way that the ARB tent did. There are some changes there that I wanted to highlight and talk about here with this review. To begin with, the tent is relatively easy to deploy. There is a channel system that uses a piping that the tent fits into, both on the car side or on the vehicle side of that, and then over here on this side, this side as well. And it's pretty sturdy. It worked out well with our ARB tent. Also, it was a nice design with that, and it was nice to see this design carry over into this. Like I said, the footprint on this is a little over 6 feet by 6 feet, which is enough to accommodate at least 2 cots in there. I have 1 cot in this one, just to kind of give you an idea of dimensions and how all that kind of fits together. I like the fact that this has 2 doors. It has this door on the side, and it has this aft door as well for 2 egresses, which makes it nice. Also a little bit breezier inside. A couple of issues that I have with this, though. One is the hook. One is we can't say Velcro, okay? The hook and loop fasteners that are being used all around to go through and attach the tent to the awning and to the awning stanchions that you see there. The ARB tent had plastic clamps on the vertical uprights, and it just made it a little bit easier to deploy, and it gave it just a little bit more wiggle room. On this one, you kind of have to go right in the middle of each one, and then you can adjust it and make sure that things come up a little bit tighter to that. And there needs to be a little bit more of these too, especially along this top line here, because it sags. And if you go through, if you put up the blinds themselves and attach them to the horizontal stanchions on there, it adds to its rigidity, so it doesn't seem so saggy that way. But once they're deployed, it kind of sags down a little bit there, for whatever that's worth. I really love the fact that this has a zip out floor in it. I'm wondering why it doesn't have a zip out roof, to where you can just use the roof of the awning and not have to worry about packing all that additional material. One other little gripe that I have is the inside opening that allows you to open up the passenger door inside the vehicle. Now, I really like this feature a lot. ARB did it the same way. The problem with this is that the zippers are kind of upside down. It'd be nice to be able to unzip that from the top down, so you could still seal off the wheel-to-wheel area that's still on the other side of the tent, to keep any other critters from crawling inside. The way this zipper works, it zips from the bottom up, and it leaves that space pretty vulnerable. So Rome Adventure Company, if you're paying attention, and I know you probably are because you listen to your customers, that might be something worth flipping around on maybe your next iteration of the Rome Adventure Company awning tent. On the next episode of UTADV, I'll be talking about the Wilco Off-Road Hitchgate Solo Swing Arm, the pros and cons, and how that's worked out for us in our overlanding. So for UTADV, I'm Eric Young. Thanks for watching.